Haunted Asylum Watchman Chronicles. Ever since Thomas took the job as night watchman at the old Holloway Asylum, he'd felt uneasy. The building was a sprawling labyrinth of decaying corridors and echoing wards, its windows boarded up, its doors chained shut. On his first night, the silence was oppressive, broken only by the distant clatter of a loose shutter or the skittering of rats. It was in the dead of the third hour, flashlight trembling in his grip, that Thomas saw the first patient, a woman in a tattered hospital gown, her eyes hollow and unblinking, standing at the end of the hall. He blinked, and she was gone, but footprints, bare, wet, and smudged with grime, trailed down the corridor. Thomas tried to convince himself it was his imagination, a trick of the moonlight, but each night more patients appeared. Sometimes he'd catch glimpses of a gaunt man peering from behind a broken door, or hear the thin, high laughter of children playing in the day room, though the rooms were always empty when he arrived. The air grew colder, the darkness heavier, as if the asylum itself was drawing breath. One night, as he made his rounds, the ancient intercom sputtered to life, crackling with voices long since silenced. Names were called, roll was taken, and Thomas heard his own spoken in a voice he couldn't place. The patients began to follow him, shuffling just out of sight, their faces pale and desperate, eyes pleading for help he couldn't give. The boundaries between past and present blurred. He found himself drawn into rooms that shouldn't exist, doors opening onto scenes of torment frozen in time. Sleep eluded him, and soon Thomas couldn't tell if he was awake or dreaming. The asylum's records, which he'd once thought pointless to read, now seemed to whisper secrets about patients who'd vanished, staff who'd disappeared, watchmen who'd never lasted more than a week. The faces of the dead pressed against the glass at night, and in the blackest hours, Thomas understood. He was no longer guarding the asylum. He was becoming part of it, another lingering shadow in the endless night.